In today's video, I'm showing you how to make these homemade sour cream donuts. In the description box, you can find the recipe, and I'll include the exact measurements there. Now, I'm going to show you how I made the dough. In this first bowl, we're going to mix up some softened butter, white and brown sugar, egg yolks, vanilla extract, and sour cream. Now we're going to take a spatula and scrape down the sides and bottom of the bowl to make sure that there's no sugar or any other ingredients stuck to the bowl. In the second bowl, we have our dry ingredients, which includes all-purpose flour, baking powder, cornstarch, and a pinch of salt. Using a fork, we're going to give our dry ingredients a quick stir. Then we're going to add these ingredients inside of the blue bowl that includes our wet ingredients. Giving them both a quick mix, they will form a cookie batter dough resemblance. And at this point, the dough is pretty loose and sticky. We're going to mix this up and form it into a ball so we can place it into the fridge to chill for about 30 minutes to an hour. Now, what you see me doing here is transferring my dough into that clear glass bowl. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to use some plastic wrap to cover. Plastic wrap does not stick well to plastic bowls, so that's the only reason why I transferred it. Here in this clip, you see me putting some flour on my rolling pin, and I'm doing that so that my rolling pin does not stick to the dough. I rolled it out into about 1.5 inch sheet of dough, and I'm going to cut it into some strips or slices, about 1.5 inches thick as well. I'm going to take this dough. First, I'm going to stretch it out with my fingers. If you have a donut cutter or cookie cutters, you can use those, but I don't have any of those items at the moment, so I'm using my hands to free form a donut, and this is how I did it. In addition to making the donuts, I'm going to also make some donut holes along with 2 donut sticks. I'm just trying to use up some of the dough because I have more dough than what I desire to have. So in addition to the donuts, we're going to play around and make some additional items. Once I've formed all of the donuts, I begin to fry them in some canola oil. The unique part about frying the donuts is that once they reach a golden color or just prior to, the donuts will begin to rise to the top of the oil and float. If you pay close attention to the screen, you'll see some of the donuts just freely floating around at the top of the oil. That is my signal to go ahead and either flip the donuts or to take them out. Some of my donuts came out a little darker than what I intended. Some of them were perfect. Nevertheless, they were all fully cooked, and that's all that mattered. All right, so here are all of my donuts and donut holes along with some donut sticks. In an attempt to make this video not too long, I probably went ahead and left out some important details. When you're forming donuts by hand, be sure to close up those ends very well. Make sure they're tightly secured, because you'll see in just a second here that some of my donuts opened up during the frying process, and I ended up with what looks like the letter C type of donut instead of a completely round circular donut. You'll see here in a second. The donut holes came out pretty fine, and those donut sticks were beautiful. That's my daughter trying to claim territory of one of those donuts. Instead of using icing, I'm going to make a quick glaze using powdered sugar. I'm also using some vanilla syrup. You can also use vanilla extract and milk. I'm going to use heavy whipping cream because I need to use it all up because it's soon to go bad. So instead of using heavy whipping cream, you would use milk, and you'll also see milk on the ingredients listed in the description box. I also showed you some lemon extract if you want to make it have a lemon flavor, along with some sprinkles for my children. Go ahead and add your milk. Give the milk and the powdered sugar a quick stir, and this is the texture you're looking for. Going back to that letter C donut I was telling you about, this is it. So what happened is I just didn't close up those ends tight enough when I formed the donut into a circular shape. So make sure that you do that if you're going to do the freehand method. So I just drizzled some of the glaze over top of that C-shaped donut, and here I'm taking this fully formed donut and dipping it into the glaze. Next, I'm going to top it with some colorful sprinkles for my daughter, and then for my son, I'll add some blue sprinkles. Here's a little bit more of that powdered sugar. I'm just going to take the donut holes and roll them around in that powdered sugar just to give them a powdered donut appearance. Now that we have all of our donuts decorated, I want you to get a full glimpse of what the entire spread looks like. Aren't they pretty? I had a hard time keeping my children away. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them down below. Make sure that you check out the recipe in the description box. This style of video was a little bit different than my usual one, but if you've enjoyed it, please let me know that. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. To all of my old and new subscribers, thank you both. I'll see you guys next time.